The question set editor provides direct access to live question sets, giving administrators the ability to add, remove, or edit questions without the need to rebuild or redeploy schemes. This means administrators are able to update their question set and change their live or hidden scheme within minutes. The question set editor can be accessed by heading to Admin and jumping into Questions. From here, you'll find your scheme, and that'll take you straight into the question set editor. You'll have your pages along the left-hand side, and then you have your questions nested within those. Some of the main things to note is that you can access the code of the question set editor by jumping into the top right. From here, you can see the JSON that makes up your question set. You won't need to use JSON to manage or edit your question set. You'll be able to use the main interface to add questions, edit questions like normal. Behind the scenes, JSON is used to build your question set, and if administrators choose to view or edit the raw JSON, they can if they wish. This option is available for advanced users who require precise control over question structures, dependencies, or system IDs. However, all tools are provided here on the main interface, where you can add questions, change pages, save, and publish. Each time a change is saved in the question set editor, a new version is created in the top left. When you click the drop-down, you'll be able to see different versions of the question set. You'll be able to see who created the changes and when. If needed, you'll also be able to roll back to previous versions. If you'd like to see what those changes were, you'll be able to select a previous version and then hit Compare. This will then allow you to see the two question sets alongside each other. If you want to revert back to this version, you can hit Revert to this version at the top. Last feature at the top is the search bar in the top right. You'll be able to search for system IDs, question names, or question types. The results will then filter down to the options, allowing you to find questions faster. At the bottom of your question set editor, you'll be able to get quote. You'll no longer need to go to the very top to get a quote. From the bottom, you'll also be able to cancel, save, and publish. When you save it, that does not push your changes to the Get Quote journey. However, when you hit Publish, that will push your changes all the way through to the Get Quote journey. You'll see any unsaved changes in blue, and then when you hit Save, you'll then have the option to hit Publish. When you hit Publish, a warning will appear, checking if you want to publish your question set. You can hit Confirm, and that will then publish your changes. You'll see a notification in the top right letting you know your changes have been published. The questions editor uses a set of icons and visual indicators to help users quickly understand more about questions and pages. You'll see an asterisk for any questions that are required. You'll see a link if a question is used in a trigger. You'll also see a key if a question is a key question. For example, in a multi-page, your address is likely to be the key question. You'll also see a lightning bolt if this question has triggers itself. These will also be seen on pages. The pages of your question set can be edited in the bottom left. Jump into Edit Pages, and you'll see all of your pages here. If you click the drop-down, you'll be able to see any questions nested within those pages. From here, you can drag and drop any page, and you'll also be able to copy pages. You can jump into Edit an individual page, change the name, add any triggers, and also decide which record the pages will appear on. When it comes to adding questions, you have three options. You can add a question at the bottom of your question set, you can add a question mid-page, or you can bulk add new questions. When you add a new question, you'll be able to choose the question category. You'll also be able to choose the question type. You'll then be able to add the system ID. Once you add the system ID, you can then lock it in. If you ever need to change the system ID, you can unlock it, change the system ID, and then relock it. You'll then be able to add a title, add a description, a help tip, decide which record this question will show on, and then if you need to make it required or reset it hidden. You'll also have the option to hide the question or make it a read-only question. For questions such as drop-down questions, on the left-hand side you'll see the option for value. You'll be able to add all the different drop-down options. You'll also be able to set a default value, and if you want to make this an autocomplete drop-down question. You'll be able to add in your validations and your triggers. When adding a validation or trigger, you'll be able to select from other questions. These questions do not have to have been saved for you to be able to choose from them. Once you're happy with the question, you can then hit Save. Similar process is followed when you bulk add a new question. The only difference is this is a cut down version of the question editor where you won't be able to add any question triggers or validations yet. You'll be able to add those at a later stage. This is useful for any questions that have the same format over and over again. Any questions that need copied can be cloned using the clone button here. And any questions that need moved can be dragged and can even be dragged across pages. The only limitation with dragging and dropping questions is that you cannot drag a question from a non-multi-page into a multi-page and vice versa. You can edit your risk groups by jumping into the bottom left. And from here, you can see your risk group name and your risk group IDs. You'll be able to drag and drop your risk groups to reorder them. At a glance, you'll be able to see if the risk group is in use and if the risk group has modifiers. You'll be able to clone your risk groups, and then you can also jump in to edit these individual risk groups. You can give them a name, a default insurer, select the color you want the risk group to appear as on your matrix tab, decide if it's an add-on, and then jump into your modifiers. From here, you'll be able to add a new modifier. Give it a system ID name, a display name, decide if it's a load or a discount, put it through as a rate or a fixed fee, and decide the cancellation method. When we're looking at if it's a load or a discount, we normally put it through as a load, and in the rating file, we decide if it's a discount or a load. To avoid multiple people working on the same question set, SchemeServe will automatically lock the question set if a second person tries to join the question set editor. The second user will only be able to view the question set, and only once the first user leaves the question set will the second person be able to edit the question set editor. The final section we'll be looking at is the actions in the top right. From here, you can jump into tax settings. You can change the label from IPT to another tax, and this is what will appear in your matrix tab. You'll also be able to choose a cancellation method from here, and then you can hit save. The policy fee settings will work in the exact same way. You can rename policy fee to another fee, choose a cancellation method, and hit save again. The final section is import and export. You'll be able to import another question set. If you have two similar question sets, you'll be able to export your question set and upload it into here. Just make sure it's a JSON file that you're importing. You won't be able to import XML files into here.